It down the right side toward the end zone. It is knocked up in the air. A.J. Green makes the catch.
Oh, man!
A deflected ball winds up in the hands of A.J. Green. The clock hits 0. A 52-yard. 23-year-old Tony Pike waits for the snap, has the football, short drop, lobs one down the sideline for Binns. He's got it! Touchdown! Touchdown! Touchdown!
And a high fly ball way back in center field. It is out of here. A grand slam home run for Joey Votto. And this one belongs to the Reds.
You have your shirt on?
Last I checked, I did. Yes, what?
Just curious.
Now a steal by Gary Clark and a breakaway to the rim for a thunderous tomahawk jam.
Get you one, big fella. And a strike for Bertoni. And the magical moment belongs to Leonardo Bertoni. He opens the FC Cincinnati account with a goal in the 14th minute. Yeah, double dip from the icing cone.
Welcome back. Man, that was not a good welcome back.
Well, you know, the
Rusty.
slider was sticking, but I'll blame it on myself.
No, Rusty.
What's going on, man?
I mean, pardon the punctuation. It's been a little while. I know we see every time we do one of these, I'm like, yeah, we're gonna start doing these every week, and we're like, why?
Happens.
2020.
Mhm.
So we are doing a regular, no special guests tonight. We are doing a regular podcast. It is myself, Aaron Smith, my co-host Ed Mayhall. It is, pardon the punctuation, kind of going back to grassroots and doing our thing, because there's plenty to talk about right here. The Cincinnati Bearcats are doing big things right now. Basketball just started, which, thank God. I was really nervous that there was not going to be a basketball season. I'm still not sure it's going to finish.
Yeah.
But we don't even want to put that out into the universe.
No.
But the football team is making waves, as they have been all year. I've talked about it plenty on my other show, but let's talk a little bit about it here. I know how much you love when I mention that other show. But yes, so Cincinnati right now standing at 8-0, I believe. 8-0.
I believe that's what it is, yeah.
They're the number 7 team in the country. Kind of a big deal.
Should maybe be a little bit higher.
They've been as high as 6 before, Florida and Texas A&M and Ohio State. Yeah.
Well, they all came in.
Yeah, I don't care for that team.
I don't think they're going to play this weekend.
I'm not sure they're going to play either Michigan team. But
do they have Michigan University this weekend, or do they have Michigan State?
Michigan State, and it's University of Michigan.
Yeah, whatever. We still don't care.
Yeah, I don't know if any of that's going to happen. However, Cincinnati's been doing it big. Desmond Ridder has had himself a year. He's people were talking about, is he the guy after 3 weeks? And he has shown out and done it with his arm, done it with his legs. He is a scoring machine. And his name's being put up there with some of the best to ever do it at Nippert, including Tony Pike, including Zachary Collaros, Ben Mock. He's definitely up there with the best of the best that the Bearcats have seen.
Which is crazy to think, right? Because you didn't think anybody would. Well, maybe you did think for a while that anybody would top Tony Pike in that undefeated season, and now all of a sudden, here we are, undefeated,
and not having to look at Tim Tebow.
Yeah, that's nice. That's very nice.
Maybe the best collegiate quarterback ever, except for maybe Joe Burrow. But
Well, not talking. Well, we might talk about that, but
I don't. I mean, just yeah.
yeah,
I don't want to watch anything
I couldn't watch it
like
this
a
weekend.
Tim Tebow led University of Florida. Do you think we're gonna get into the college football playoff though, Ed?
No,
We're like I said, we're looking at 7. I don't know what the hell's going on with the ACC. They're canceling games. I wouldn't be shocked. Did they cancel the ACC championship yet?
no, not that. No, not that I think of.
I wouldn't be surprised if they're just like, we're not going to play this one. We're just going to pick a winner based on what we've seen. That way, no one ends up with another loss, and you guys can both get into the college football playoff. We'll just make an estimate.
I'm almost okay with calling, pulling the UFC and just saying we're the champions.
UFC, as in the Ultimate Fighting.
You know what I meant.
Oh, do I? Do I?
UCF.
There we go. You got it. You did it.
I'm drinking some celebratory Bearcat bourbon. All right, so let's let it be.
So, do you have a favorite moment of the football season for you this year?
I mean, there's been some good ones. Nip at night.
Nip at night is always a fun time.
It was Desmond running on the right side, and one of the linebackers, I can remember who it was. Maybe it was Dokes. Just lit a dude up. Just lit him up. Hit a brick wall. I have it saved on my phone. We won't do that. But I tweeted it out a bunch of times on our Twitter page.
Dokes is. I miss Michael Warren this year. I can only imagine what this team would be if Michael Warren had stayed. True. I wonder if that is the tipping point between us being a 7 team on the fringe of the CFP versus a 4. But I don't want to dwell on what might have been. Okay. I will also miss Jared Dokes next year. I am not quite ready, and thank goodness we don't have to quite yet. But I'm not quite ready to give Jerome Ford the keys to the car. He's flashed, certainly, but he is not Jared Dokes.
Not ready to do that, huh?
No. So we were supposed to play Temple.
Yep, that game got canceled due to COVID.
On both sides, both Temple and Cincinnati. Curious as to who this might affect at Cincinnati, as I have an idea of what was going on the last time Cincinnati had COVID.
Somebody said on one of the Facebook pages that it was Luke Fickell who had COVID this time, but I don't think they would cancel a game just for Luke Fickell having COVID.
It would depend on what was going on with Temple too, but
that's true too.
Yeah. I don't know. You would hope it's not Luke, because if it is Luke, who on the team would not have been exposed? Between the coaching staff and the players.
Well, he wears that cool little gator thing. So
I mean, I've seen more of his face than I care to admit this season when the cameras have been on him. And the cameras are not always on him.
It's even harder on these college basketball games. Like I was watching.
Yeah, because how do you yell out the plays? Like
exactly.
It's terribly difficult.
I mean, in the NBA, when they had the bubble, the coaches didn't. Well, I guess they were in a bubble. I guess that's the difference. The coaches didn't have to wear a mask. Yeah,
you're in a bubble. So, I don't know. For me, I think the biggest moment for me this year for the college football Bearcats has been. It's pretty much been Desmond Ridder after week 3, because I was one of the people just kind of screaming for him to use his legs, and he has. And if it wasn't that, I think it's got to be Josh Wiley and everything that he's done, and just his coming out party. There's people talking about Josh Wiley going into the NFL draft already after this year. That's
Ooh.
crazy talk. No
That
one
is
has talked
crazy.
about anything like that. But according to PFF, he's the number 2 tight end in the nation right now.
PFF also says some other things that I don't know if I trust very much. So
They can be suspect at times. Don't get me wrong. I mean,
they
you can only
did
put so much into analytics. We all know that.
they did say that the Bengals would be picking up Cam Newton in the offseason when Joe Burrow won't be ready and be paying him $20 million for 1 year.
Have you met our owners?
And isn't New England only paying him $1 million for 1 year?
Yeah, they're not paying him anything.
Anything.
Also, Cam Newton has been
Not
super
that
hit or miss.
Yeah.
Talking as somebody who has been his fantasy football, he's on my fantasy football team.
He's on mine
And,
too. It's magic.
He has been a nightmare this season. At times, he's been fantastic. Other times, he has been arguably the worst quarterback of the week. So
Try having him and Fitzmagic as your backup, and the week that Cam goes down with COVID, Fitzmagic gets benched for Tua, yeah, whatever.
there's not an L until you get to it.
Tula.
Nope.
Again, we're sipping on some Bearcat bourbon tonight, so.
So I don't know. I mean, I've just really enjoyed basically everything the Ritter's done post week 3.
Yeah.
I think that was the
Actually, the Nip at Night game was also the game where we really pissed off the other coach and threw a touchdown pass, right? Or it was a fake punt, right?
Dana Holgerson.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was great. I laughed so hard.
I was very upset. That handshake was fantastic. Where you had Marcus Freeman come in like, "Hey, you good? All right, you good."
Basically told him to go F himself.
No, he apologized. You could hear, if you turn up the volume, you can actually hear Luke Fickell apologize.
Yeah, but Marcus Freeman was not apologizing.
Oh, no.
No.
No, he was just making sure Big Fick was okay.
Yeah, basically.
So, as for college basketball, sorry, I was just reading. We had a comment.
Yeah. Looks like Mike from Craft Brew Sports saying, some bourbon sounds amazing right now. It is. It's Bearcat bourbon. Maybe you should pick some up.
So basketball, though, has been it just started. We played Lipscomb in the first game of the year.
Tough Lipscombs, yep.
It was tied at halftime.
Halftime.
Didn't love that.
Did not love that at all.
No. And then Cincinnati showed up. What were your thoughts watching the game? First off, let's go before we even get into your thoughts on the game.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on ESPN Plus thus far?
Oh, well, we could talk about that for a second. Yeah, so I purchased ESPN Plus yesterday afternoon for the $6.99 or $5.99. Is that what it was? Okay. Anyways, and about 15 minutes before the game came on, I decided to try to pull it up because I still had to log off for work and everything. So I tried to pull it up upstairs. I got a nice little Google Hub sitting next to the desk upstairs so I can, watch sports. And it said that I needed to register again. I needed to pay again. And I said, no, I'm not doing that. So luckily, I was able to come downstairs and call ESPN Plus. I called their tech side. Their tech side said I had to go to the billing side. And when I called the billing side, they asked me no questions about billing and actually went straight to, the tech part of it and assessing my situation. So why I had to make that second phone call, I don't know. Moral of the story is after missing 10 minutes of the game, they were very quickly able to get me signed into my account and get my subscription set up. So that was downside number one, with a little bit of upside because the customer service lady was great and quick. Other than that, though, I didn't have any glitches. I didn't have anything like that. I'm actually using it right now to watch West Virginia and Gonzaga, and I'm not having any glitches. So, I'm down with that side. So, if we're talking about announcers, I think Kevin did pretty good. I mean, he's done some announcing for the games for the last 2 years, maybe preseason games usually though, and he wasn't horrible. So, and the other guy, he's the guy who was doing the tours of the arena when they were building it. He was putting out those Thursday tours or whatever it was.
Is it Mike?
I can't remember his name for the life of me.
I can't either. I'm gonna say it wrong. I have not experienced ESPN Plus fantastically.
Okay.
I've had it since the beginning of football, and the issues that I have had with ESPN Plus are, number one, if you have an LG smart TV, LG and ESPN don't play nice with each other, so you can't use your smart TV to watch. You have to have a separate device, whether that be a PlayStation, whether that be a Google Hub or a Amazon Fire Stick, Apple TV. You just have to have some type of secondary device.
Yeah, I'm using the Chrome down here in the basement. Yeah.
Super annoying. You should be able to use a smart TV. You got to figure that out. Especially since it's clearly not a Disney issue, because Disney Plus is available right from the home screen. So let's work on that. The second issue I have is watching from a
Come on, are you a big Disney Plus guy?
I mean, I'm a big Marvel guy.
Oh, I forgot that stuff was on there. Okay.
Yep. Plus Star Wars. In any case. Yeah, I mean, again, if you have that relationship already with Disney, it shouldn't be an issue for LG to figure that out. But the other issue that I have, though, is just a streaming site as opposed to a separate channel. When you have ESPN, ESPN2, some TVs you can even get ESPN. Like if you have Xfinity, I've seen ESPN3 as different teams are available as a channel, as opposed to having to watch it through your streaming service the way ESPN3 used to be available. You also have ESPNU, ESPN News. Just if you're going to put it on Plus and you're going to make it a Plus subscription, but you want people to go back to cable, as all the channels apparently do, I don't really know what we're doing here. Like, make it available on cable too. Is it really that difficult? Is it? There's no way it's really going to be a cost thing. It can't be super expensive for anybody to.
Well, again, it's the cable package. It's the TV deals with the AAC and all that kind of stuff. So I mean, I wish we could just go back to the Fox, right, and just do the Bearcat bounce again or something like that. But but we will have this problem if we go into a big conference, right? If we go into the Big Ten, if we go into whoever, we're going to have this same problem because they all have their own apps and all that kind of stuff. So
maybe, I don't know. I mean, the Big Ten at least has their own channel.
Exactly. Well, but then you got to worry about it. Like, how many people have these streaming services? I don't know that Hulu carries the Big Ten channel. It might.
I don't know.
I've never had a need to check for it.
So in any case, it's hit or miss. Plus, with it being a streaming thing, sometimes you experience buffering. Sometimes you experience where you're in a corner of the house where it doesn't get a fantastic internet connection. So maybe it works for you on your phone when you're just flicking through Twitter or Facebook, but it doesn't work for streaming HD video in that same corner of the house. I don't know. With everything going to streaming devices anyway, I mean, how many devices do we have in our homes at this point? Like, if you're a family of 4, as you are, and you have kids, as you do, you're probably looking at a good, 20 plus devices that are hooked up to the internet at this point, if not more.
Yeah, no, there's, and we've had that problem. I mean, if we're into that, we've had that problem, back in March, April, May, when the kids were home, and even the summer, and we were using, she's using her teams, I'm using my teams. Parker's watching something on his tablet. Bryce is watching something on the TV, and we have Hulu, so we're streaming that. You're on your cell phone. I'm watching something on the Google Hub. Yeah, I mean, you're right. We got multiple things running, and that was one of the other things I did notice that I was about 30 seconds behind everyone else. So people are tweeting, about a 3 or something, and I have to wait 30 seconds to see that. But I'm kind of used to that having Hulu. I was usually like 15 seconds behind.
Well, one of the things I've seen that some of the different like routers and stuff are doing, are you're able to now control your router and prioritize video calls, and you're able to prioritize gaming, or you're able to prioritize streaming video, or whatever the case may be. So I don't know. Hopefully, you'll see technology catch up to the issues. I mean, of course, these are first world problems. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know. Just me venting about.
No, I got you. No.
So getting the gameplay, Lipscomb. One of the questions we saw from your brethren, there are some new faces on the team this year for the Bearcats. So let's get right to new faces that we saw. You saw David DeJulius, a transfer from the University of Michigan. He got out of there. Apparently he didn't like what was going on with Juwan Howard, who apparently is having issues of his own up there, as he got into it with a player during the game. It's not what you like to see.
Good luck. Never good luck.
No. We also have, we're just going to call him Rap. I think that's the easiest way to put it. I think his name is like Ivanauskis.
I was just going to call him Ivan. Yeah, but that's fine. Ivanauskis or Rap. I'm down with that too.
But he transferred from Colgate, and we all remember Colgate from last year. So we went ahead and took their best guy. No big deal. He ended up with, I believe, 19 second half points against us in that game.
Ended up with 11 points total, yeah.
He ended up with how many points? No, I'm talking about the game last year. 19 second half points against us last year. So we went ahead and scooped him. Other new faces, though, would be incoming freshmen. You got the Madsen twins between Mason and, help me out here,
Gabe,
thank you.
Welcome.
You got Tari Eason, the much ballyhooed Tari Eason, coming from the state of Washington all the way to Cincinnati. He says that Jeremiah Davenport was a big reason that he came to Cincinnati. And we all saw how much he loves this city in the way that he showed out the other night. You also have Mikey Saunders Jr. Running the point guard there as a backup behind DeJulius. You also have a couple other players. You have Victor, the guy who tucked his cell phone into his sock.
In his picture?
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone caught that right away. Showing up in the box score, to be honest with you.
Goodness, I was not as prepared as I should have been for this.
He's not sure. I'm looking at the box score, and he actually didn't. He's not showing up in the box score.
He's not playing yet. He is still injured.
Who started alongside of Chris Vault? Oh, that was Ivan. Never mind.
That was Rap.
Yep. I'm going to have some trouble with these names this year. I mean, we talked about it, and you've been talking about it. Seven new
guys.
Yeah, 7 new guys, and it's going to take me a little bit of time to get used to these guys' names. Like I said, I'm just going to call Ivan.
So you watched the game. How were you feeling the first half?
I mean, like I just said, we had 7 new guys. I mean, you could tell it from the beginning. They were slow.
There were some flashy plays, though. I mean, Tari Eason on that alley-oop that he couldn't quite get to throw down, but he at least got the bucket.
Yes, exactly. I think there was 10 minutes left in the half, and I was like, if we can get out this half, tied or up by 2, then I'll be pretty happy. And we did end up tying, squeaked out with a tie at the half. Mm-hmm. So, we started back at zeros. And I was hoping, I don't want to get too far into the second half, but, I was hoping that having that tie would put a little bit of fire underneath them, and coach would put a little fire underneath them, and they come out in the second half strong.
Well, you saw a little bit of that out of Zach Harvey. He might have been the player playing with the most energy there at that first half in the limited minutes that he saw.
Yeah.
He's coming off the bench. He's coming off that injury. He's just not seen as much court as I'm sure Coach Brandon would have liked at this point. I think that was why you saw the limited minutes that you saw out of Zach Harvey. And, you kind of don't know what you have exactly in Zach Harvey at this point. He was highly heralded coming out of high school. Last year, he looked kind of lost more often than not on the court. Of course, it was Jaron's team, and Jaron kind of ran the show, and it was kind of hard, I think, for Zach Harvey to really find his footing in that regard. Plus, you had the awkward dynamics between Jaron and Coach Brandon early on in the season, so everyone was kind of on eggshells anyway. It was kind of a strange season last year, just from front to back, especially the way it all ended. Good God.
Yeah. I mean,
thanks.
It's another one of those. Yeah, another one of those what could have been years, right?
Right. Maybe more so than any other year, because who knows? You could have had a UD national champion.
That's a great point. If we're talking about just college basketball in general,
Yeah,
we could have had a national champion here in Cincinnati.
Yeah. So, I don't know. You have Zach Harvey showing out. You have Micah Adams Woods looking like he's not ready to lose a starting position on this team. He's playing lights out, mainly because you had some foul trouble going on with both Tari Eason and with Keith Williams.
Yep.
So, at least we didn't look like we didn't know. We couldn't knock down shots, but we were getting open looks. We were getting good looks. Eventually those shots are going to start to fall. I don't even know how many practices these guys have had at this point. I can't imagine that the practices together have been super, I don't know. I just don't think they've had it.
Yeah.
I'm sure they've been productive, but I just don't know how many actual practices have you had as a team?
And you talked about it on your other show. I mean, yeah, how many practices have they had? But also, we haven't had a scrimmage game. We haven't, some of these other teams have played.
We had the super secret scrimmage.
There may have been a scrimmage game up north. We don't know.
The super secret scrimmage.
Super secret one. We know about the one that Lisa was tweeting.
Listen, I'm seeing all over Twitter, and this may have come from, my boss, one Chad Brendel, but there maybe could have been a super secret scrimmage, and if there was, it may have been against a red and white team, as he said on our other show.
It could have been.
All rumors flying around are that we apparently played UD, and I've seen on Twitter that we won by 25. I've also seen on Twitter that Tari Eason looked really good. So I don't know. I don't know what any of it means, but if that's the case, that same team did not show up in the first half against Lipscomb.
No.
So
no, did not.
Given the way that everything went wrong for us in the first half, you were 0 for 10 from the three-point line as a team. That's horrendous. DeJulius looked kind of confused out there the first half. He had no points. You got this guy coming in from Michigan, and he's supposed to be pretty good. You've seen, the highlights of him against North Carolina. You've seen highlights of him against, whatever you look up, well, of course they're highlights, but he's been flashy. I don't know that I really got to see that out of him yesterday. So it was good to see him start knocking down some shots. I think he ended up with 8 points, but he started knocking down some shots in the second half. Second half was a whole different story though. And that was where Jeremiah Davenport came to play. And he is on record as loving this city. Apparently Micah Adams Woods said he knows how much this city means to him, how much it means to be wearing the city across his chest. He grew up, he went to Moeller, I believe.
Yeah.
So he's a local kid, and he reminds me of a much longer, much rangier Logan.
Steve Logan, huh?
No, not Steve Logan.
Oh.
What was the kid that played for us for 1 year and then he transferred to? It was 2 years ago. Wasn't his first name Logan?
I'm not sure who you're talking about, bud. You have to look that one
I
up.
am the light skinned kid. He wore number 0 before McNeil, the year before McNeil, 2 years ago.
No.
He came off the bench. He was a freshman. He was only here for 1 year, and then he went off to St. Joseph's, I believe.
Logan Paul, the guy who got knocked out, who knocked out. Okay.
Certainly not. His brother plays in the NBA.
Oh,
Yeah,
shoot. He was only here for a year. So what was his name?
I said that already.
I know, but I'm trying to think of what his name was now.
I can't remember either.
I got college basketball stats pulled up. What do you remember what year it was?
It was 2 years ago, so it would have been 2018. In any case, Jeremiah Davenport went off, and he had a steal. He had a fast break. He was the guy literally like just doing everything you would ever want a glue guy to do. He's not necessarily going to be a starter, and I don't think, honestly, even with that energy, to be a starter. Not yet.
Right.
But
I mean, yeah.
he did what you would want a guy coming off the bench to do. He injected them with energy. He got them running from floor. He basically quickened the pace of the game single-handedly.
And I think that's going to miss. I mean, I'm going back to COVID for a second, but that's something we're going to miss, right? Normally when we go on those drives and those guys start flexing and then DJ E-Train starts dropping Mo Bamba, that's when we start going on these runs. And it's a possibility we could have gone on a run earlier than what we did. But I think without having the fans there, it's going to be harder for us to do that. So, we could have came out of that game. What had this been a normal season, even though having 7 new players, we could have came out of that game, up more, but we don't know. I mean,
Logan Johnson.
Logan Johnson. Yep. Yep. I know exactly who you're talking about now.
Was it Logan?
Yeah, it was Logan Johnson. Yeah.
That was his first name?
Pretty sure.
Yeah, there he is. Found him on the Google. That's him.
Yeah, Google's always good for that kind of stuff.
Well, I had to look up his brother. That was the only way I knew how to find him. But yeah, Logan Johnson. I mean, so he reminds me, like I said, taller, rangier, and he just, whenever Logan would get in the game, he was kind of that same ball of energy. Like, maybe I just did 3 lines. I don't know. That's just the way he reminds me. Like, I don't know. I mean, just yeah. But yeah. In any case, so we took over in the second half, largely in part due to Jeremiah Davenport. And I don't know, what did you see second half that the eye test told you?
So second half came out a little bit slower. But you're going to have to forgive me. I forget his name. But one of the Lipscomb players who fouled out early, fouled out about halfway through the second half.
Yeah, it was like 10 minutes left. Yeah, you don't have to apologize for not knowing Lipscomb's players.
Yeah, but I think he was really keeping us out of the inside. Once he came out, you saw them starting to get the ball inside more, and that's when our leads started to come back up. So I think once we kind of got in that rhythm, instead of, the normal Bearcats, let's shoot from the outside, let's live and die by the 3. Once they start getting the ball inside, getting the inside to Vote and getting the inside to other players, I think that's when we started pulling away. And so I think that needs to be our game plan, or at least a big chunk of our game plan moving forward, is getting that ball inside. Because, Vote, although he doesn't look like he's been in the gym as much as I want him to be in the gym, he's still a big body underneath the board. And if he can get that little hook going, or if he can get that turnaround jumper going, there's not going to be who stops him there.
Vote down low is going to be, I think, probably make or break this season.
Yeah.
If he goes down with any type of injury the way he did last year with the torn labrum, even though he played through a torn labrum, it's going to affect this team dramatically. You saw limited minutes with Mamadou Diarra yesterday, but those minutes that Mamadou was in,
they didn't even look good.
They didn't look great. And normally I know he's the energy guy, but I wonder how much not having the crowd there affects Mamadou Diarra, because I think he feeds off the energy of the crowd, whereas Davenport was on a whole different planet with his energy. Like, he was the reason that the team hyped up. He didn't care that there weren't fans there. You saw
Exactly.
some of that. You saw some of that out of Micah Adams Woods as well.
Yes. Underneath the basket a bunch of times on drives, he would start doing that that yell.
Yep.
And that's what I'm saying. Like that's what I was talking about with DJ E-Train. That's usually, when a timeout happens and DJ hits that drop, and that's when the crowd pops. And I think I'm going to talk about this a lot this year because I think the crowd is a big part of UC's game, and not having that is going to affect us.
So, and we'll get to some stuff about the crowd because I know you're dying to talk about that.
Are you talking about the Ghost?
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
However, let's finish talking about the game. So, yeah, you saw the Davenport. Basically, Davenport comes in. I think Chad tweeted out that the plus minus for Jeremiah Davenport in the 14 minutes that he was on the floor was plus 20 for the UC Bearcats. Bearcats win. And again, that was largely in part due to the four assists, 4 points, I think 2 rebounds for Jeremiah Davenport, which that stat line doesn't scream what he meant for this team in the time that he spent on the floor. That all being said, it was also Micah Adams Woods who took over when Keith Williams saw limited time on the floor due to some foul trouble. Keith, when he had that one drive, I think it was in the second half, where he pretty much contorted his body to make sure that he still got that layup. That was the most athletic play I think we saw all night, outside of maybe the Tari Easton alley-oop that didn't end up being a slam, but again, still found a way to get it in.
I missed that because of ESPN Plus. Thanks a lot, ESPN Plus.
I think we're going to see plenty of Tari Easton this year, though. His mom is
his mom.
She's a fantastic follow on Twitter. If you don't follow her, you should be able to find it just by scrolling through your feed from other people that you follow have liked.
His mom is going to be that lady in the crowd, because the seats are pretty much empty. She's going to be the one that you see standing up dancing. She's going to be fun to watch this year, I think, on TV.
She is very upset that he played soft, in her words. Not my words, her words. She said he played like he had 4 fouls, not 2. And
sometimes you need that push from your parents, right?
She's something, man.
That's what Troy Kilpane's mom used to do every time.
So
call him after the game, coach him up.
Like I said, down the stretch, you did see David DeJulius. He started hitting some shots. And more or less, that's kind of the story of the second half, is we finally started hitting shots that we weren't hitting the first half. We started hitting at least a couple threes. They got to figure out in practice. But in any case, we leave our own court happy to get out of there with a W.
Yes. Yes, very happy to have a W.
Players. First game, 7 new players. They're all adjusting to, again, I don't know how many practices they've had to this point. So there could be an argument. Again, it's probably no different than any other program, to be completely honest with you. But I don't know that every other program is going through an entire roster change of that many new guys.
And I think it's a good time to bring up Mike's comment over here. Having 7 new guys and under only 1 game under our belt, man, I can't even read tonight. Does that get us a bit nervous about the X game, who has already played 5 games this year prior to the shootout? And, I would be a little nervous about it. Maybe I'm a little bit more nervous after last night's showing. But X is...
They haven't played well. I'll say it. I don't care. Xavier has not played well. Honestly, neither has Cincinnati. So this might be a game where both teams score a total... You might be lucky to see 100 total points. I don't know. But again, the only thing that didn't scare me about the way that Cincinnati played is the fact that you had open looks. You were just missing shots, essentially. Like, they were running plays well. They just weren't hitting from anywhere that wasn't in the paint the entire first half. So, I don't know. I'm never scared of Xavier. Am I jealous? Am I jealous that they have had 5 games to?
I am.
Absolutely, I'm jealous. That's fine.
They probably should have moved the date like we asked them to, but it is what it is. I guess if they saw their advantage, hey, let's hit them when they only have a second on their second game. Let's do that. you know, that's how Xavier plays.
After we played a whole bunch of cupcakes.
Yeah, that's how Xavier goes.
I believe that Cincinnati is favored by 13 points. I could be wrong. And of course, the lines change
Every day.
all the time, just based on the money.
And the COVID reports.
5-0 versus 1-0. Listen, I'm not hanging anything up this entire year as, oh, well, this was set in stone the way that it should have been. Everything's all upside down. Cincinnati's the number 7 football team in the entire nation right now, talking about college football playoffs.
Playoffs?
So, I don't know what to make of anything.
Playoffs?
Our pets' heads are falling off. I don't know, man. I mean, the NBA season finished without, they got rid of 8 teams and still continued to play into the playoffs, but only without 8 teams. You guys are terrible. Get out of here. We're not finishing with you. We're gonna finish with the other. We're gonna finish with the other 24 teams of the regular season, basically just to get the other teams that make the playoffs ready for the playoffs. This will be the conditioning. You're now part of our training camp, and we'll have a whole separate season, separate from the regular season. The whole 2020 is upside down. None of it makes any sense anymore. Again.
And then the NBA is only getting 3 months off, and they're starting again here in December. Like it just ended in September, right? Right before the World Series, or right after the World Series.
All I know is week what week in the NFL are we in right now? Week 12, week 13, something like that. I think 12.
Yes.
Week 12 just finished on a Wednesday night.
No, it was not a Wednesday night. It was Wednesday at 3:45 because the news broadcast or the station did not want to give up Rockefeller Christmas tree lighting. They thought they were going to get more ratings from that than the Steelers versus the Baltimore Ravens. I mean, that's another story too. I mean, Bengals are pretty much out of it. But how about
pretty much? Yeah, no,
they're out of it. They're out of
all
it.
the way out.
We're
talking about number 3 pick in the draft next year, bro.
How about we delay the Steelers Ravens game 3 times? We reschedule it 3 times, but we make Denver go out there and play with 0 quarterbacks.
So you know why that was, right?
Oh, because the Denver players didn't wear their masks. So it's pretty much it was pretty much well, you screwed up. Okay.
So I
don't
know.
Somebody in Baltimore screwed up too, and they got fired. So
well,
what I heard.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
I don't care about any of those teams.
I am excited though about the crosstown shootout. I'm John Brennan said it on the, I forget what it's called, but UC has their own podcast now. And it's Dan Horde, our guy, which by the way, T's and P's, well, I guess not T's and P's because Dan came back negative, but that's why he wasn't on the broadcast the other night because he was around 2 people who had positive tests. By the way, masks work. And so, I forget what I was going to say.
You just want to get that masks work joke out.
I wasn't going there with it, but until, I got it out. Dan was talking. John Brennan's actually pretty upset that Chris Vogt is not going to get a real crosstown shootout in Cincinnati. Yeah, there's going to be a crosstown shootout game played at Fifth Third Arena, but that energy is not going to be there. It's not going to be like it's supposed to be. And so he's kind of upset about that, which is another reason why he was trying to move that game. But, even moving the game wouldn't have done, we weren't fans in there. So
I still feel like you should have either done the 1-1 same year, or you take this one, or we'll take, what was it? We'll take this one and next year, then you get to, I don't know. The whole thing's just stupid. I hate it.
NKU did it. NKU's not scared.
I hate COVID.
COVID's the worst.
Can't wait till this shit's over.
We want to talk about that for a second, about the fans?
Talk about the fans. I know you wanted to bring it up, so give the backstory before you talk about the fans.
All right. So apparently, and I caught this on Twitter, I tried to frequent the BCJ boards, but I don't get on.
It's not easy.
And message I mean, and no offense to Chad, but like message boards were 2004. But I do enjoy those message boards because there are some crazy people on there. And someone was getting all butthurt about top dollar sponsors and donors being allowed at the game and fans not being allowed at the game.
So it
Are
had
you
not at that point though. It had not yet been reported
No.
that
Somebody saw people in the stands. Yeah.
that there were
I thought I saw Ep Cronin.
that there were 300 tickets available.
Yeah.
And of course, it goes to the
Players first.
family of the
Yep.
of the players, so they get first dibs, first crack at it. Now,
And it's not like
same thing goes for the football team.
right.
The
But
football team, there are many
Yes.
more players to have to accommodate. Now, that being said, it is also an outdoor arena. They also get, I believe, the last I had heard, and my numbers could be off. I don't know. It wasn't an official statement released, so bear that in mind. The last I had heard, it was 8 tickets per player for friends and family for the football team. But again, outdoor venue and way more seats. So it just kind of changes some things there. So instead, you have 300 here. I imagine the players probably are getting somewhere between 2 and 4. I don't know the actual numbers. I don't know that those have been released publicly. But then you have top donors and sponsors of the team. So I don't know. What do you think?
I mean,
about this? I think
post.
I think it's totally fair, and
I'd have no problem with it.
so
I have no because half of those top sponsors probably have one of those suites, so they're social distancing in the suite. But because the suite, I mean, there's nobody in the stadium. If they want to go sit down in the bleachers or sit down in the seats, go sit down in the seats. I mean, these are the guys who are paying for that arena. These are the guys who, I mean, Jeff Weiler. I don't know if he was there or not, but that jumbotron is the Jeff Weiler jumbotron, and that is a beautiful giant jumbotron. So if Jeff Weiler wants to come down and sit in the stands and watch a basketball game during COVID while I sit in my basement and watch the game, hey, more power to him. I don't think they have bourbon there, so.
The way I saw one person break it down on the boards was that essentially students are a renewable resource, and by that I mean that students come and go every single year. They're
I thought that was
going to
great.
continue to come and go, and eventually those students become alumni. So I don't know, donate back to the school.
Yeah.
I don't know. So
don't call me, ask me to donate. I will donate when I have the financial.
On top of that, let's be all the way real. What we've seen of students at sporting events thus far this year.
Notre Dame.
I was going to say, might I remind you about South Bend when players rushed the field?
No social distancing in that situation.
When they upset Clemson, it was. I mean, granted, you did see in the pictures plenty of students wearing masks. However, not necessarily the best idea during a pandemic.
No, you're right.
So
it's not.
Would I be concerned about the students coming in maybe drunk, maybe because I know what I did when I was a student? I mean, would I be concerned about students coming in drunk and not social distancing? Absolutely. 100%. Responsible kids aren't the hyper ones going to the games. They're the ones staying in and studying for law school or doctorates or any of those other things. They're not going to the games to get hype and bounce around to Mo Bamba.
It's my favorite song.
It's such a good basketball song.
I wish I could find it right now.
So, I don't know. You're not going to give those tickets to the students. And also, there are and again, this goes back to the post on BCJ. There are a finite number of sponsors that you're going to be able to get.
Exactly.
For this team. You can't just go replace a 6-figure, even high 5-figure sponsor at the drop of a hat because you pissed off another one. So no, you need to make sure that you appease those sponsors because they are just that. They are the people who are making sure that Luke Fickell gets an extension. They are the people who are making sure that Fifth Third gets renovated. They are the people making sure that Nippert gets the additional seating that it needs to try and lure in, I don't know, the 2022 recruiting class that's looking better and better every day.
Who will probably have seats in the stadium.
So it's just, I don't know. I mean,
The thing is,
we're regular people. Like, let's be real. We are regular people. We are the people. You and I are the people who get hyped about people giving away tickets that are way closer than the tickets that I have had.
I have a hole in my wall. I am not meant to be in that stadium right now.
I sit up at the top where there aren't backs to the seats. It's fine. We are regular people. We're not going to be the people who people want at these games. You want to make sure you appease the people who are throwing money because they don't know what to do with it. And maybe they like to write it off. I don't know. But
You
it's
probably
just,
get a nice write-off too.
oh, absolutely. I mean, let's not kid ourselves here. Call a spade a spade. That's fine. But it's just, it is what it is. So yeah, I have no issue with any of these people who are high dollar sponsors, high dollar donators getting tickets to the game. And I'm sure that there's still some people who are below them that know what they have given to the university that are pissed right now. Or maybe they're just taking it all in jest and looking at it like, it's 2020, it's COVID. There's people who have donated more than me. It's cool.
Also, the people who are complaining about the sponsors being in the stands are going to be the same people who are going to complain when Luke Fickell leaves for another school because they're offering him a lot more money, and we didn't have the sponsors to get that extra money to give to Luke Fickell. So,
or they'll complain about how there were people on top of each other and it wasn't social distance correctly, and blah blah. I don't know. No one's ever happy anymore. Chris Collinsworth had to apologize for a statement that personally I don't even know was something that you even need to go out and apologize for. So
what did he say?
Basically, he was amazed that some women in Pittsburgh he was talking to knew as much as they did about football.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's hit or miss. I didn't have the conversation. I didn't hear the quote in its full context. What I saw in a bunch of the comments on any of the platforms that I saw commenting on either the article or what he said was people are too sensitive. That was the large consensus, but meh.
I would agree.
Anywho,
I got to ask you a question though that also goes with Mike's question. So, again, Mike from Craft Brewed Sports, they had their show last night. He's a big Xavier fan. He actually was the Blue Blob. Let's not try to tell Alex Beecham that. Because Alex Beecham always says he's going to zip up the Blue Blob. But I asked him last night, are we going to put a wager or a bet on this game? So what should I bet him? We're talking, somebody had suggested that if I lose or he loses that we have to eat Gold Star chili, which apparently Mike actually likes Gold Star, so we're not gonna do that.
Of course he does. He likes Xavier.
Yeah. I'm thinking loser has to do 3 Jaeger shots on their show.
3?
2?
I think you should do 12.
Let's not do 12 Jaeger shots. I've already done 12 in a puke before, and I'm not.
You did 8 in a puke on the 9th.
9 in a puke. 9 in a puke.
There was not a 9th complete.
Yeah. Well, kind of close to it, I guess.
No.
I'm thinking Jaeger shots.
You ate too slow.
He was talking about beer bonging, but we both know that I can't beer bong.
That might be worth it then.
This carpet is too new for me to be a beer bong. So that's not happening. Unless I got to do it outside.
Put a tarp down.
Put a tarp down in the basement.
Have a 5-gallon bucket at the ready.
I was going to talk to you about that. I saw a spot over here on your side when I was moving stuff around. I cleaned it up.
No, I have not spilled a thing over there, bro.
It looked like pencil lead. So I don't know. Do you think I should just do? You think we should just do the Mike? If you're still on, what do you think? Jaeger bombs? Not even bombs, just straight Jaeger.
I don't know, man.
I'm good with Jaeger. Let's do Jaeger, Mike.
Have that conversation on the Twitter sphere. Maybe you spice it up a little bit, like something gross, hypnotic.
Where do I buy hypnotic?
I don't know, man. I think Kroger has hypnotic, actually.
Oh, they do? All right.
Or a liquor store.
All right. UC loses. I do a shot of hypnotic. Xavier loses, you do a shot of Jaeger. How's that?
No. I think you should do like one shot for every 2 or 3 points.
Whoa, no.
Yeah.
How about
Hypnotic is not like a high content.
is it like Goldschlager? I didn't go to college.
It's the one that's like baby blue.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking. Oh, the rappers love that stuff. Hypno, right? Or is that the crunk juice?
No, that's
Is that crunk juice? Is that scissor?
wasn't crunk juice Lil Jon's energy drink?
Mike said deal. All right. Xavier loses. I do a shot of Hypno.
Per 2 or 3 points.
No, I'm not doing that, dude. If we do that, then we're gonna get blown out, and I'm gonna have to take a lot of shots at Hypno. Is that what it's called? Hypnotic.
It's Hypnotic.
I'm gonna need somebody to take a picture of this bottle when I pick it up at the liquor store down the street.
Use the Google, man.
I should. I should use.
Do we have anything left here?
Yeah. Shout out to our sponsors, Boss Man Brands. If you go to our website, ptpsensi.wordpress.com, then you can what?
Enter the code ED15.
Is that what it says there? Yeah. Enter the code ED15. You get 15% off, but make sure you go through our link so that we get, a kickback.
What's Boss Man Brands, Ed? Tell us more.
Dude, hey, men's facial care, man. This is some beard jelly beard oil. I put it in today. Beard looks good, I think. Still fiery red. Has a little scent of lavender. The hammer scent. It does. The hammer scent. They've also got razors, I think, the straight blades. They got combs. They got charcoal soap. They got all kinds of stuff on there, so check it out. 15% off. I think this bottle right here at 15% off cost me like $10, which is how much a bottle of beard oil is at Jungle Gems. Also,
shot to start and end your show, Ed. There you go. One on either side. Shot to start, shot to end.
All right. That's all right. I can do that. Let's do that.
Bet.
I'm down. I got 2 bottles. Well, I guess I gotta get some Hypno. I got bottles of Yag here if you need it, Mike. Also, if you're going to purchase Pardon the Punctuation gear for your family and friends or for yourself, they say to order that before the 5th. So if you're listening to this tomorrow you should probably just, purchase that.
Is there a discount on that right now? Or
not right now.
So why would you purchase it before the 5th? To make sure you get it?
Shipping, to make sure you get it before Christmas.
Gotcha.
On standard shipping. If you want to do one of those other shippings, and you might be able to order it. When you go to their website, it's over on the top. It tells you exactly which ones and when they plan on getting it there. So, I think that's all I got. YouTube channel. I thought I turned that off. We're still learning this new system here that we got going on. Download. We're about 12 downloads away from 10,000. So let's celebrate that. Congratulations, Aaron. 10,000 downloads.
Yeah. You have a giveaway like koozie or something?
Yeah, we'll pick somebody on the next show to give it away to.
Screenshot yourself listening to the podcast. Like screenshot where you are in the podcast when you hear this. I don't know. We'll do something where you're screenshotting the download of the podcast.
Yeah, we'll tweet something about it.
Yeah.
But also, yeah, I mean, I got nothing other than, also go to Apple iTunes and rate us.
I'm happy we did this, even though I'm in Florida.
Yeah, that must be nice. What's it going to be there tomorrow? 65?
70. 79, I think.
All right. Well, I mean, that's nice.
Do you have Spotify, yeah?
Yeah.
Did you do that thing where you get to see like what you listen to the most?
Yeah.
What did it say?
Sure. I actually screenshotted it. I know you were going to talk about this, but I did screenshot it. Let me pull it up real quick here. That is not the screenshot I was looking for. That was definitely Matt Latos.
Matt Latos.
That was definitely Matt Latos. I'm still upset you sent that to Clay.
Oh man.
Hey, thanks for listening, Mike. Appreciate it, bud.
Mike.
If you guys should check out their show, Craft Brewed Sports. They had Joey Chestnut on the other day. No, not Joey Chestnut. Was it Joey Chestnut? I think it was. The guy who eats all the hot dogs.
That's Joey Chestnut.
Yeah. So my top 3, I gotta get used to this camera. Joe Rogan, us, and Joe Budden. Smile, if you don't listen to Joe Budden podcast, you're not listening to podcasts.
Thought for sure would be Pat McAfee.
I watch him on YouTube more than I listen to his podcast. Yeah. Pat McAfee show was great. Can that be our next big get?
Can we be done plugging everyone else's shows at this point?
Hey, by the way, listen to the Bearcat Bounce on Sunday nights.
That's me.
With Aaron and that other guy whose name I forgot.
We should do a round table after X sometime next week. That's how we'll do the shot at the beginning and shot at the end with Craft Brewed.
I'll call Jeff.
Let's see if we can get that done. Round table with Mike and his boys, and we'll just shit all over each other and how much we hate each other. It's fine.
No, they're cool.
Everything's fine.
Everything's fine. It's COVID. We're all fine. Our like you said, our pets' heads are falling off, but everything's fine.
It's true. It's COVID 2020.
Oh, Suggs came back into the game. All right.
Well, I'm gonna go enjoy the sunshine tomorrow, as I've recorded this entire podcast poolside.
I hate you.
Outside.
I hate you.
Patio.
I hate you.
Wearing long sleeves. They're rolled up.
You hear my furnace going off?
Yeah, I heard that.
One day I'm gonna move this thing out of the basement. It's gonna be great.
The furnace?
The show. If we ever buy a new house, I'm gonna make sure there's an office upstairs.
Soundproof room.
Soundproof room.
A studio.
Panels would help that.
Some might call it.
All
right. I think we're done here. Watch Crosstown Shootout, and after that, we'll talk about basketball and the Bearcats.
Sounds good.
For Ed, I'm Aaron. We out.
Peace.